This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and boy, have I got news for you on this Tuesday, the 27th of August. We've got great news and some not so great news, including the great news or not great news about Lily Allen and her adoption issues. Burning Man, very not so great news, but good news for fake Becky. Becky number 2, that's her Chalke with her birthday today, and other great things in the queue. 8 news stories from yesterday that you deem as conversational. We'll explain how that all works out in just a bit. Right now, let's get into essentially the news and remind you that we have places to find us and get the vetting process, all that stuff. So basically, the first thing's important. We live online at the Conversation Project website. This is theconversationproject.com. All the details about what we do, how we do it, and how to find us in many places. And of course, you can email us with your gripes, concerns, and good tidings sometimes. Be nice to have good tidings at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. As we said, Tuesday, August 27th is the day. And we go to news. These stories not in any particular order. They were posted over the course of the day on our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. We'll explain that in a bit. But these are some of the top stories that you deem conversational throughout that day. And we start off on a very sad note. The most conversational story, the top story of the day with all the responses, is this headline right here. Death of woman at first day of Burning Man festival under investigation. Where the story goes, authorities are now investigating the death of a woman happening on the first day of Burning Man, the festival in Nevada. Details about the circumstances have led to her death are not being released as of yet. It's very early. It's only basically day 2, day 3 at this point. The incident marks a tragic start to the annual conduct control event, attracting thousands of participants each year. Of course, last year's marred by torrential rain and mudslides and people being stuck in the middle of Burning Man, which is a newish phenomenon, but it just sort of happened. This year, trying to get back on track. Number 1, tickets to the events, low selling tickets. People didn't want to deal with it this year. And number 2, someone dying in the first day. And we said, we'll find more details about this issue soon, as this is a serious thing. I don't know if, they get, Stabler and Tutuola come out to Burning Man and walk through the streets and see what's going on there. But we'll see how this thing works out going forward. Next up, story number 2, the headline for this story reads, White Fragility author Robin DiAngelo accused of plagiarizing minority scholars in a Ph.D. thesis. So the author of White Fragility has been accused of plagiarism and plagiarizing minority scholars for her 2004 doctoral thesis. The complaint was filed by the University of Washington, lists 20 examples of alleged plagiarism. And this is from 20 years ago, as I don't know what it is about, probably because technology is scooping things up these days. We're finding a lot of people and a lot more issues of plagiarism because I guess it's easier to find if you use technology. Accusations are particularly notable because DAngelo's emphasis on racial accountability and citing minority voices in her public work, as she's accused of using words from other minority voices as her own in her work. The university is reportedly investigating these claims, which could have significant impact on her academic and public reputation. We shall see how this one plays out going forward. Breaking news. Michigan cheats. Jim Harbaugh cheats. Those guys cheat. Headline for story number 3 this morning. Michigan receives NCAA notice of allegations in Connor Stalions' sign stealing investigation. Michigan received its notice of allegations essentially yesterday related to the sign stealing investigations going with former analyst Connor Stalions. The allegations suggest that he led a sign stealing operation by purchasing tickets to over 30 games, using technology to record opponent signals, basically recording what's going on, and then developing them so they could actually understand and know when the signs are going. As development could lead to significant penalties for Michigan's program again, and they have 90 days to respond to the allegations. Breaking news, Michigan cheats. Now, sign stealing and actually cheating in sports is actually a long time tradition that's essentially, seen as part of the game. In baseball, there's a saying that, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Of course, that's what they said 100 years ago when sign stealing was basically just watching guys from across the field and figuring out, that's going to be a fastball. Now, technology. We talk about technology while finding people who are plagiarizing 20 years later. Technology in a way of recording games, of breaking things down, AI technology to see how things are happening and patterns to use to cheat on a higher level. And with the money that's in sports, college sports especially, college football especially, there's so much money in college football that, that's why the NIL program exists, because essentially the players were indentured servants to the teams while the coaches and the schools made bank. We're going to see this one play out because Michigan's got 90 days to respond. Michigan cheats. If you don't know that, I've said that at least 5 times in this clip here. So Michigan cheats. They cheat. I don't even know how to transition out of this one, but we're going to go to more potential cheaters, I guess. Let's go to this headline for story number 4. NFL legend Marvin Harrison Sr. and his son Marvin Harrison Jr. reportedly accused of fraud in a shocking turn of events. We're going to Fanatics, and Fanatics had some issues with both the Harrisons over some time. And why? Because Senior and Junior are reportedly involved in a legal dispute with Fanatics, the sports merchandising company, where they basically say those two are just out for money and straight up fraud. Fanatics accused Harrison of misleading the company regarding its autograph deals, basically saying that Harrison Sr. walked Jr. into signing fraudulent contracts, saying that, they sign contracts to get paid for events, but writing into deals where they don't have to show up for events, essentially. Basically not signing the contracts, not signing the autographs, not signing the memorabilia they were contracted to do because of loopholes in the contracts, or flat out just not doing it. Development has added complexity to the already contentious legal battle between Harrison family and Fanatics. Fanatics is the company that essentially owns the license of the jerseys. So if you have a jersey being sold, like an official jersey being sold, and your number's on it, your name's on it, your likeness has to be leased to Fanatics to do that. Harrison Jr. is not leasing his likeness for his jersey, which is an issue. Also, other contracts as well. How this thing will play out, it's money. We'll watch this one play out because it's football and it's money. And it's legal and it's football and it's money. We'll take a quick moment here in the middle of the stories. We have 8 stories to produce for you today here on the Conversation Projects, things you might have heard. 8 stories from the top 15 stories of the day yesterday we chose for this. But remind you that if you're enjoying what you're doing, depending on what platform you're watching this on, like the video or heart it or scrunchy face it if you want to do that one. Share these videos with other people so we have more people in the conversation and grow our cadre of news nerds. And subscribe to wherever you are. If you're watching this on YouTube, you found this or someone shared it to you, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe to the video. And we're on various platforms. Go to our website and see all the platforms we are, if there's a different platform that you actually prefer. But like, share, and subscribe what we do here for the Conversation Project. Back to the news. Back to Lily, and back to the shelter. Lily Allen says she was receiving death threats after she revealed she actually gave up her pandemic puppy. So Lily Allen is a British singer, and she faced death threats because people are mean, because they are, after she rehomed her pandemic puppy. That basically means she adopted a dog, and then gave it to someone else to have, or took it back to the shelter. You rehome it because that's what you call it. Ethel was the name of the puppy, but it was due to behavioral issues that posed a danger to her children. Essentially, the puppy was not as well behaved as they thought, and because of that, she had to give him up and give him back. She shared the decision on social media, leading to a wave of criticism and threats, because we're humans and we're like that. Despite the backlash, she emphasized that the decision was made in the best interest of her family and the dog. The dog was not doing so well, with the family not doing so well, so give the dog a better chance. Situation highlights the challenges some pet owners face when revealing issues with pets, adopted and otherwise, especially so many people who adopted pets during the COVID-19 pandemic. People were lonely. People want to do something great for the world. People got puppies because they're at home and they could take care of puppies. And they realize if you don't train a puppy well, they're not all as cute as they turn out to be once they get older and bigger and start chewing things up. And pandemic pet puppies, pandemic dogs, pandemic pets were rehomed a lot. So this is a tale for you to take onto you, and basically a lesson for you to learn ahead of time through Lily Allen. If you don't have the responsibility to take on a pet, don't take on a pet. I've wanted to take on another dog, since we moved into the big house. Of course, the tornado would have been an issue because we had no place to house it. I want to take on another dog at various times at the old house. But essentially, it was me and the dog and other people not taking care of the dog in the house. It is what it is. We bought a puppy when my daughter was literally born, and she looked at it and was like, I'm the cutest thing in this house. Get rid of this puppy. And so we had to rehome the puppy. We had to do the same thing. Pets are wonderful. They're not quite children, but they're wonderful, and they need care, love, and feeding and well taken care of. If you can't do that properly, you don't deserve to have the pet. And while you can't just take your kid back to the hospital and say, I want to rehome this kid, you can do that with pets to a point. So if you're not the right parent for the pet, try to find a right parent for the pet. We're looking to take on a pet at some point in time, sooner or later here in the house, but it has to be something a pet that's a bit older, a bit that doesn't need so much attention, and also gets well with kids, because there are still little kids around this house for some reason. We've done having them, but there's still kids at this house all the time. I don't understand that one either. Let's go to a story that I don't understand. Oh, actually, I understand this one pretty good because I follow economics and money, but I don't understand why we can't get better deals on this one. And this one affects me personally because it's Ozempic, and my family's trying to find ways to lower the cost of our drug use for this drug, so we can, spend more money on computers and cameras. Selfishly, actually more stuff for the house, but I want more computers and cameras. The headline for this story at the number 6 spot is Ozempic maker defends high U.S. price as helping reduce costs of obesity. Novo Nordisk, who makes Ozempic and other drugs that help out with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, say the price of the drug is the cost of admission for helping to lower obesity. Now, paying so much for Ozempic and other drugs, GLP-2s, stuff like that, the price is so high because in the long run, paying more for this means paying less for issues for obesity. Obesity is a issue that causes lots of comorbidities and lots of deaths directly and indirectly because of the condition. And so dealing with obesity, dealing with type 2 diabetes, and having that regulated inside you right there saves you money. So why not make the most we can off the drug that does that? When if you could take a couple dollars off that drug, it's available to more people and save more people more money, since they're basically making money hand over fist. Essentially, the markup on these things is insane. But it is what it is. It's business. I understand business, and if you make that buck, you make that buck. But sometimes for business people and businesses, if you make a couple less bucks and make a little more general welfare for the people, you make more bucks in the long run. So Novo Nordisk is not going to drop the price of Ozempic, and the other drugs that help for semaglutides are not going to drop anytime soon because they are cash cows. But there are ways to make the cash cows go a little leaner at certain periods of time. This is a tragic story. We're going to give you a pretty big of a trigger warning, if you will. But this story is in big headlines, and it's extremely deep, extremely disturbing. So here's your warning for this one. Body camera footage shows encounter before Akron officer fatally shoots man in vehicle believed stolen. The Akron Police Department has released the body camera footage for the arrest of Michael Jones. He's a black man who died after being restrained and was shot in a vehicle that the police officers thought was a stolen vehicle. Footage reveals the intense struggle between Jones and the officers, which raised concerns on the use of force. As I say in these things, there are other issues that may be involved, but it all comes down to bad policing all the way. Why were the police doing this action? Why did they not have the wherewithal to not do something in this action? It's bad policing, no matter when you call it, whatever overtones you want to add to it. It's all bad policing. It's also prompted an internal investigation. Jones's family is demanding answers to the circumstances that led to his death. If you want to comment on this one and put more information or insight on it, just reply to whatever venue you're watching this in. If it's a short clip, if it's the long form, if it's a podcast, just reply back to this or email me at the conversation inbox, gmail.com. We can talk deeper about this story. And we're going to lighten this up quite a bit from here, going to number 8 story. And I have a love for pole vaulters. Never did it myself. Really much afraid of heights, but pole vaulting is something, one of those things like, wow, I wish I had the ability to do that thing and actually try it. Armand Duplantis breaks his own world pole vaulting record 3 weeks after he set it at the Olympics. Like 3 weeks ago, he set it, and then he's like, you know what? It's been 3 weeks. Let's see what we can do. Knocked it out of the park again. Armand Duplantis, the Olympic champion pole vaulter, broke his own record by clearing 6.23 meters. The achievement came just 3 weeks after setting the previous record at the Olympics in Paris. Duplantis, who has consistently pushed the boundaries of the sport, is continuing to dominate the exceptional performance of something that's kind of it's a niche, but it's a niche that people watch. People watch pole vaulting because it's like, That's weird. Why would you do that? I mean, I'm not a medieval soldier trying to jump over a fence or a wall in a castle to attack, but I guess it's cool. And he's solidifying his status as one of the greatest athletes and greatest pole vaulters of all time. This guy is Michael Jordan level pole vaulting. So it's going to that end. Quick aside to wrap up the 8 stories a day. Back when I worked in radio for a while, I was managing a news network. It was a statewide news network, and we produced news articles throughout the day. Budget cuts, layoffs, and short staff led to me coming in the morning, setting things up, and doing a bunch of things, news reports, get things done, and then going away to take care of other things. Once my daughter, JJ, got old enough where she, went to actual school, and I couldn't just drop her off in the middle of the night at daycare. I had to drop her off at like the actual time for school. So it meant I had to come into the work, do those early things, and then leave, rush back, and get her to school. A very, very awesome lady, Miss Carrie Cates, who had came into our newsroom, a veteran news person who came in to help out when we were struggling and help us get back on track, was like, I'm doing early news. I love sports. I'll do your sports for you. And she did it. And she was like, I'll do your sports, but I got to take care of it. So she did sports a couple of times. I was like, hey, can you work on it? And she's like, I'm doing your news. I'm doing your sports. I'll take care of it. And so I understood that meant shut up, Payne. Let her do your sports. And she did. And she was awesome. And she was a big fan because of Razorbacks in Arkansas. She went to Arkansas, so she loves Razorbacks. One day she did a bunch of stories on the track team, because track season is big in Arkansas because the track team is so great. And she did this really long, really detailed talk about the pole vaulters. It was a slow news days, and basically the only people that competed that day were I guess, some triple jumpers and pole vaulters. And the pole vaulters did a bunch of amazing things. And I came in that day, I was like, hey, I loved your pole vaulting story. In which she snapped at me. I was like, I'm doing your news. I'm like, no. I dig pole vaulting stories. I just have this thing for pole vaulting stories. I can't get enough. I do less football if we had more pole vaulting, and people would hate me, but we do pole vaulting 24/7 if we could. Thank you so much, Carrie, for being awesome, being an awesome person and doing my sports. Also loving pole vaulting. There's that. She's going to be hanging out this weekend, this Thursday in town as the Razorbacks play football, open their season here in town, which I'll be nowhere near because the chaos in Little Rock with Razorback football is nothing I want to do. I mean, other than, I'd count that second only to go into Disneyland and things I really, really don't want to be around is that. Let's go on to, enough rambling on that end. Let's go on to something that's actually more productive, and that's explaining how the stories got to be in the stories here, the feeds, things, if you will. Our feeds are what we call our links on Facebook and X. I called it Twitter earlier. You know it's X. X.com/th_conversation and Facebook.com/this is a conversation project. What do you do at those websites? Well, you check your own feeds for what your friends are going through or what the QAnon's doing or what Pope are doing. I just said QAnon's. I'm probably going to get this thing, this is probably going to get pulled off and demonetized. But, we'll got news on that later on, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But go to your feeds to see what's going on. And as you go to your feeds, see what we're talking about. You may have to scroll through a few to see what stories we're talking about based on the time of day, because every 50 minutes we post a new news article at those feeds every single day for you to engage in. Here's one. Hell is basically freezing over on this one, but this is a big one. Oasis reunites to tour and ends a 15-year hiatus during Gallagher's brothers feud. If you want to talk about this story, when you see this in the feeds, it's going to be posted. Think about it in the 7 o'clock a.m. hour. So you may have to go look for this if you're curious about this one. Engage in the story on our feed. So click a like, click a mean face, click a shock face, click a heart, share it with other folks, and of course, comment on it in the feed. And the more engagement the story gets, better chance we have of talking about it going forward. It's literally the more people that talk about it, more people that click on the clicks, the better chance of talking about it later on. Now, just in case it doesn't make it out there, the tour doesn't begin until July. Although tickets go on sale this weekend, and it's just in the UK and Ireland. It's only in the UK essentially. I don't know what's up with that. Sorry about that. Long time to get the hiccups and the burps is inside the Oasis reunion. And so, but this is August now. They're not going to play for another 10, 11 months. So there's plenty of time for them to fight again. But it's been 15 years since they stopped touring because Oasis, the brothers can't stand each other. But they're going to stand each other for money because of nostalgia. We'll go deeper into this one. Not a big fan of Oasis. Every time they came on the radio, I basically want to cover my ears, but big money, nostalgia. Will we talk this up big time tomorrow? You have to engage in the story and we'll find out. Big money, not so much nostalgia, but breathing is a big thing for folks. And you will spend little money because they have great deals on hostage tape for your better life, better enjoyment of life, better breathing going forward. Hostage tape produces the most comfortable mouth tape in the world. Strips you put over your mouth to keep your mouth closed. Why would you do that? Because in times when you aren't talking, your mouth should be closed so you can be breathing through your nose. This is times when you're sleeping for people who have issues with sleep apnea and things like that. These are times when you may be doing high performance exercising when you should be breathing through your nose for that full body work of stuff, but mouth breathers get the shallow breaths and they don't get the actual breathing going on. This might be because you want to keep your mouth shut. There you go. If the mouth tape's just a little too odd for you, they have nose strips that are branded by them that do the thing the other things do. Keep your nostrils open so you breathe better. So if you're looking for better breathing, better health, Hostage Tape has the deal for you. Check them out at our website for our affiliate link. This is theconversationproject.com/hostage tape. This is theconversationproject.com/hostage tape, and they will take good care of you. They're always doing these great big deals because people want to stock up on it. So they'll give you great deals on them. But the issue is when they do that, they run low, they go out of stock, and have to wait to replenish. They are replenished after a deal they threw about 2 weeks ago. So now if you want a small supply to try it out, get your try on in, and then next time they have a huge deal, buy them up because that's how they operate. Hostage Tape is going to take good care of you. They'll take good care of us as an affiliate commission from what you buy from them. Check them out online at this. It's theconversationproject.com/hostage tape. Now, bragging on ourselves today, because today we are going to brag on ourselves. We learned a couple new tricks inside of the processing of the thing, and we'll see that in a moment. I won't put too much emphasis on that because that's really boring. But what we happened to do yesterday, what happened yesterday, as I was worried about this because the numbers were kind of flanking back and forth, we hit that magic number in YouTube of 3,000 watch hours in 365 days. What's that mean? That means we were eligible for monetization. There was issues about whether we can monetize this channel because the channel that on the account it's attached to, I made a bunch of channels off it, many years ago, back in the early days of stuff, then back when blogging was a thing and we had AdSense on for our blogs, because I clicked too many times, testing clicks. Before I got my first check, Google decided, I was a fraud for $100. I wasn't even making any extra money. I didn't make any extra money at the time. We passed the test. We hit the numbers. We got our AdSense account. We are now set for monetization. Nothing is set yet, so you're probably not seeing any extra videos here, but that means we're going to start getting some money in from the YouTube, so we'll now be paid contributors. How much are we getting paid? Pennies, of course, but we're happy for that milestone, so we're going to celebrate with you guys with some extra special stuff coming in this weekend. We hadn't quite figured out yet, but it's going to be a man-only weekend. I'm being left to my own devices. All the ladies are leaving me alone for the weekend, so I've got nothing to do but sit in front of my computer and goof around with you guys. So that's going to happen this weekend with some great stuff this weekend that you will hopefully enjoy, or also get some wrestling on with WWE. In the meantime, The Conversation Project lives all the time at theconversationproject.com. This is theconversationproject.com, where you can find out all details about us, back issues of the shows, issues on links to where we can be in different places, different formats, how to find us on TikTok, how to find us on YouTube, how to find us on X, how to find our newsletter, which is awesome. So you subscribe to that so you can get the newsletter directly into your inbox, how to find us in just audio form. Another quick aside, I've gotten a lot of comments lately about my voice, which I thank you so much. There's a lot of people out there with much better voices who aren't doing even this much because they found other jobs to do. The places to do these things are limited. There's not a lot of radio jobs going on. A good friend who just got hired back into a radio job after being out of radio or being in radio for 29 years here, literally in the local area, got bounced from a job, was basically doing gigs and doing promotion stuff for a good 4 or 5 years, especially during a pandemic, which was odd. Got back into a gig that was good for him and his family, for his schedule, and loving it, and people loved him, and budget cuts. Great guy, great voice. He's not on the air doing that now. He'll go back to doing shows, and he'll be fine. Me, I'm not that good, not that entertaining, and my radio stuff, because it's news, whatever, as they're killing news jobs on radio, don't work out as well. So I have a news job that I pay for myself here. I got sidetracked. Thank you for all the people who are commenting on my voice, because I appreciate that. One of the reasons why I've been doing this is to keep my voice up and active. However, if you're one of those people who don't appreciate my voice, sign up for the email newsletter and you can just get the words straight to you, and you can actually even hear myself read them, I guess, but you get the links to the stories every single day. There's also just my voice in podcast versions on whatever your favorite podcatcher is. You look for things you might have heard, and of course the weekly wrap up, 2 separate podcasts going there. Oh, consider being a partner. You probably won't want to do that after all that rambling, but go to our website, and when you see the links for sponsorships page, see other sponsors, consider being a partner and help directly fund what's going on here. As I said, more money for drugs and buying stuff. That may not sound as eloquent as it should, but I'm on drugs and I need to buy more stuff. So we need more help, more support. If you want to help us support the issues and the things we do at the Conversation Project, please consider all those things. Now, the very poor promotional part business is done, and the fairly good news part happened today. I'm pretty happy about the way we produced that today. What we have now is the fun stuff, things you might ought to know for Tuesday, August 27th, 2024, the second show, if you will. And we start off with birthdays, the funnest part of the fun stuff. And that beautiful lady right there is Sarah Chalke, who is celebrating a big birthday today. 48 on the day. Sarah Chalke, most famous from Scrubs, but also infamous as Second Becky, or Becky's friend from the revival of Roseanne and the Connors. The weird thing was she replaced the original Becky on the original Roseanne, and then went to Scrubs. And then when it came back to the show, they made a sort of a joke about it by bringing in the original Becky and then bringing the second Becky in as a side character, like a main character. It's interesting how they did that. Sarah Chalke, 48 on the day. Aaron Paul turning 45 years old today, and Chandra Wilson, that doctor. She's 55 on this day. Happy birthday to this trio of great peoples. Let's do some history for this day. Today is August 27th, and going back, starting off in 2003, way back 21 years ago, Mars made its closest approach to Earth in nearly 60,000 years, passing approximately 34,646,416 miles from Earth. Not 34,000. That'd be really close. 34 million miles from Earth. That happening today. The closest it's been in 60,000 years. That's our neighbor. In 2012, the Mars rover Curiosity broadcasted its first interplanetary human voice recording to nobody, because there's nobody there. And in 2017, former 5-weight world boxing champion. Because he did 5 weights. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button and lost it for a second. Former 5-weight world boxing champion Floyd Mayweather defeated MMA fighter Conor McGregor in his debut match in the 10 rounds in Las Vegas. It was amazing to see because Floyd Mayweather Jr. is all about money. So anytime he needed to make more money and move up weight class and fight bigger fighters, his first MMA fight was Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor had his first boxing match, stepping into the world of there to say, hey, I'm Conor McGregor. I can do all kind of things. And even though Mayweather was mostly washed up at the time, bounced him in the 10th round. So our word of the day, which is unfortunately misspelled in the notes, the word the. I do that a lot. I type that improperly. Is kismet. It's an interesting word. It's a cute word. Not one of my favorite words. It's a good word, but kismet is our word of the day. And it is defined as fate or destiny. Kismet is something that is defined as fate or destiny. A lot of defines there. Essentially, kismet is something that is meant to be. You declare something as kismet. They considered their chance encounter at the coffee shop pure kismet, leading to a lifelong friendship. Kismet is used a lot in romance type stuff, in rom-coms. Kismet, not so much because the kiss part of it, but just the word itself. Essentially, a relationship that's meant to be, a romance meant to be, a partnership meant to be, you going somewhere and becoming a certain role that is meant to be. Destined as fate. It is your destiny. It is meant to be. It was kismet that you are where you are. Not sure it was kismet that I'm here where I am. I think it's more coincidence, but that's one use of the word. Let's talk about today's affirmation. Not quite as long, but still a bit in the woo-woo-ish type. They just sort of happened. Today's affirmation is, the perfect partner for me is coming into my life sooner than I expect. This encourages positivity in your life. My focus on the arrival of a perfect partner promotes a general sense of positivity, which can attract like-minded individuals into your life, potentially leading to meaningful connections. And connections is the term there. By saying partner, this is an affirmation that's not so much, the love of your life. This is essentially the person that you need to be with, the kismet person you need to be with that is destined to be with you, to work on a situation, to be a partner at a business, to help you get through a jam at work. So the right person will come in place and fill that role. It may be a partner who is either a friend or romantic partner, or it might be just the right person for lunch on this day to answer a question and then go off about your life. The perfect partner is coming to you sooner than you expect, and they will impact your life greater than you can ever imagine. Try that one on for size. Also try more affirmations by going to the website Amazon.com, searching for 100 Daily Affirmations Pain, and get my book, 100 Daily Affirmations for Positivity and Confidence. Or click on the link inside of this video. There's a link for this, where the affirmation is. It'll take you to the book link as well. Today's celebrations were a little on the low end, so we kind of go on a lower end for celebrations, but we're going to hype it up as much as we can. Today is Just Because Day. And think about this. Every single day we do things that are expected, required of us. Sometimes we even do things because we have to do them, even though we don't know why. But today doesn't apply. Today's a chance to do something for whatever reason. No reason. Just because. Do something out of the ordinary. Do something that happens. Don't follow any sort of convention. Just today's the day to do things just because. You can also get banana. Banana Lovers Day is a day. My mother-in-law baked some great banana bread. I'm going to take a slice with me for work for breakfast. And get some Rochambeau on. It's rock, paper, scissors day. Play it all around. And for the folks who don't get it, show them, and they'll be stuck with it as well. Let's move on to moving on parts. Today has been Tuesday, August 27, 2024, in this capsule video. And you just wrapped up both things you might not have heard and things you might not know for the day. 2 shows in one. Thank you so much for being with us for this video presentation, or the audio presentation if you listen to the skimming of it in the podcast, or in the feeds that's just words, although you won't hear my words if you get us in the newsletter form. If you want to get that as well, it's a supplement, it's a compliment. Check it out at our website. This is theconversationproject.com, and click the link to subscribe to the newsletter, or subscribe to any of the podcasts, or get the video subscribed to where you want to. We still need more subscribers on YouTube to keep things going, so that's something big, but we're glad we're in the monetization window now, so hopefully we can start getting a little bit more extra coming this way. The pennies will add up. Just ask our people who give us the spare change level in our partnerships things. Those pennies do add up. I want to remind you that we are all over the place, but we're specifically looking for you to show up in our feeds on Facebook and x.com/th_conversation, facebook.com/This Conversation Project. Follow on the feeds and let us know how to get the stories in, because you let us know what stories to get in the day. We'll explain, we explain it every single day. Email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com for any comments you have. Partners get, first dibs at getting to me, but we'll take every single comment that comes in for email, gets read and gets digested, gets pushed into something. Life is great, even when your life doesn't seem so great. So keep that in the back of your head or in the front of mind, because sometimes you got to push it at you. And enjoy yourself. Do something just because today, because it's just because day. And have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.